Today is August 1st, 2025, and today we are meeting Selen. Selen came through April 14th, 2022 at 9:02:22 a.m. I'm still in the Lakeside, California location at this timing, and at this point in the body of this work, the beings are coming through in steady streams now. Anytime I sit down to work with the crystal, multiple beings are going to be coming through now. And I'm going to be capturing a lot of beings in association and not in association with the being who at that session was most trying to connect with me. Okay, so with Selen, and as I speak, we'll just move through a series of frames just so that you can get a full spectrum of seeing her. We'll go ahead and mirror her frame, her transmission as well, so you can receive more of what is often unseen information in the frames when we just leave them in their raw format. Also, in hers, there is some extended information, and so I couldn't do it the frame in the same way as others without narrowing it a bit. Anyway, you'll see all of this information again as I continue to speak. So Selen came through just there's days apart now, days apart from Oriyah and Ur. Now we're going to take a look at both of those beings here now just to refresh our memory, who we introduced just prior. So Oriyah came through first. However, I introduced she and Ur in reverse in the video segments, and then following her, Ur. Okay, Oriyah, just to refresh, is a dragon, and Ur representing the bull. So following these two beings, Selen herself comes through. Now there's a couple things that we'll bring to light here as we discuss Selen. Selen is an interdimensional being, and we get this information in something that happens in the process of when I go into the crystal to begin looking for these recognizable patterns through which the information finally does make it through to my conscious state of attention. Through a process of shifting my own brainwave patterns, which I have mentioned previously. So we'll see here a frame where you can see the interstices, the in-between frequencies information where I'm honing my attention in on a singular being, but I'm still in the process of getting there, of filtering out information, data beings associated with the being who's most coming through, who either comprise and or are surrounding this being. I'm just filtering this out of my attention and honing my attention in on the singular being itself. And I will snap photographs during the whole process, and we'll get these in-between frequency frames, which we're seeing here. And I call this spectral because we're getting a spectrum of information and not just a singular being as of yet, but this spectral representation is the interdimensional level of being of Selen, who then pushes herself through. Selen is more, I believe, in the galactic spectrum. And water very clearly comes through in this transmission. Again, underwater, aquatic So either she herself is an aquatic being, and or more information can be associated with this as well. For instance, she may be transmitting to us from a location underwater, and this is what I'm picking up on. And or it could be that the what we call the astral realm itself, what I call galactic space, dimensions 4, 5, 6D, is what's coming through to my attention. So the water element, it could represent any and all of these ideas. And I do feel that they all are present in Selen's transmission. Selen transmitted through to us only in this one instance, but she did come through making quite an impact on me. She connected deeply. I've always been highly interested in this transmission, and it is one that I periodically do come back to. I feel at home here in this information. It reaches something in me that it's familiar. It's not just familiar. It's more than familiar. It's happy. It's friendly. It's highly curious. All of these things, are deeply within myself and come through very clearly in Selen's transmission. Interesting here is I have mentioned before how some of the beings are right here, directly in my personal space, in my room. And it's the etheric frequency version, or the etheric frequency bandwidth of my 3D physical space, but that is right here. It's what's most directly connected. It's where, when you're first shifting out of body, you're first shifting out of body into that etheric frequency bandwidth, or what some people call the physical duplicate. And so they'll push through from this close. And in this frame, we do see this happening. You can see here the window and the white light streaming in through my open window being utilized in actuality for this being, actually spectral, and Selen herself in galactic form. Utilizing the open window, utilizing the white light, utilizing all of this to come directly into the etheric frequency bandwidth of my room and literally just push their heads through in a way that allows the crystal to pick up on that information and make it through to my conscious state of attention. Now, when this is happening, it's interesting. It's not the same. Something very different is happening when I'm looking for these recognizable patterns through the crystal. It's much more clear. It's much more focused. It's much more centered in on this one being, rather than locations or portals within the crystal itself, which is another thing we've gone into. But I'll just bring to your attention here that this is another one of those frames. Selen did come in this close. And when the beings do come in this close, it makes me curious. It makes me curious as to whether they are right here. And meaning the being is living its lived experience right here in what we would call the etheric frequency bandwidth of Earth base. And possibly in a craft underwater. We're seeing a lot of this rise to the surface of people's attention these days. And it does rise to the surface of my attention through this particular modality. I'm working with the quartz crystal. I've mentioned previously the couple sitting at the pinnacle, forming the portal through which the majority of the beings we have met so far to date are coming through as beings in their own right. That of An, who represents the masculine, and who I call Nyala, or the Black Dragon Queen, who represents the feminine. And one of the frames that I was able to capture when I was connecting with Selen, when Selen was connecting with me in this particular session, I also reached on, or on reached to me. I will say that this is a caricature version of an association or associate of on. I can feel on clearly here coming through, and I do not know yet what that connection is. I do feel that it's a level of being behind galactic space, what I tend to call the magical realms, which does come through very magical and mysterious and very interesting formations of beings, such as the unicorn, such as the dragon, such as these beings, such as what we're seeing right here. So we know that Selen herself reached through. The beings do either come through the feminine or female black dragon queen. Nyala is her representation here on Earth, and or on. And Selen came through the side of on. Again, Selen, as spectral, as her higher being, is an interdimensional, represented again in galactic space, whether 4, 5, or 6D, as a potentially aquatic being, as Selen herself. And I think that's where we will leave off here. Most important for me to mention today were the interstitials, and to show that interdimensional beings, or the in-between space, outside of space and time, does come through in representations through the crystal. It's rare. The galactic level beings, or what we call extraterrestrials, are what come through the most. However, the interstitials can also be captured. That's interesting in itself. So yeah, and these in-between frequencies where I'm working at, again, focusing out of my attention all irrelevant data to any one singular being and honing my attention in on that being itself, were the things that I most wanted to represent here and show examples of here in this segment. Okay, so Selen, and let me go ahead and recede here now so that those who wish can take a moment to connect with her a little more deeply themselves. Okay, this is Selen. We will be back again soon, very soon, this time I promise, with the next being.